Hi, my name is Eva. I was born in Czech Republic and I left my home when I was 14 years old. Since then, I moved across countries, cultures and different ways of being. For many years, I was a performing artist. I was trained as a dancer, choreographer, and stage was my home. In my mid-20s, while in India, I experienced something I would call a deep spiritual awakening. One that slowly but completely shifted the direction of my life. For many years after, I walked two paths at once. One focused on the performing world, and the second one, a growing devotion to understanding the body on a deeper level, going into trauma work, nervous system regulation, voice work, and other practices of embodiment. I became a yoga teacher, body worker, and a somatic trauma therapist. What kept me going was a question that I ask often: how do we return to our true nature? And how do we remember what it means to be human? When COVID began, something became clear to me. I couldn't walk both paths at once. And so I had to choose one. I let go of a performing world and I stepped fully into what is now my life's work. Creating and holding spaces where people can come back home to their bodies, to their true, and to reconnect with nature and with what is to be a human. When I look back, I can see that everything that I experienced in my life so far led me to where I'm at now.
Hi, I'm John. At some point early in life, instead of avoiding what was difficult, I began to move towards it. I've spent a lot of time learning about broken systems by being trapped inside of them. I served in a war that taught me about the machinery behind violence, and then I became an organic farmer, where I learned how disconnected we were from the land that feeds us and how hard it was to come into contact with and relationship with those lands. I started and funded multiple businesses that showed me that debt is really a system that keeps us trapped, often in relationships and stories that don't serve us any longer. It wasn't until I had my daughter, Willa, that I started to have a desire for my work and my actions to align towards a beautiful future. And it was there that I began to realize that it's really difficult, maybe even impossible, to come up with solutions to problems from within a culture that only teaches us how to fight with each other for market share, for attention, for resources. During the pandemic in 2020, I was sitting on a hill overlooking the Pacific Ocean, thinking about big time, as I often do. I was kind of connecting to more generations forward than I ever had in my life. And the pandemic had exposed for me something that I think a lot of people already knew, but it was that our world really had a deficit of leadership. And to some extent, we were just being led, our halls of power, by a lot of children that were having some sort of a food fight with each other. That's what it felt like. So I was thinking about this and I was connecting to my as far in the future ancestors as I could. And I just asked the question, how in the hell are we gonna make this work? How does it not end up in dystopia? And in that moment, I had what I would say is the most expansive experience of my life. I've tried to boil that down and put it into words. It's not possible. But ultimately, some answer that came is I would understand as community. Not the community that I have ever known, but the kind of community that makes us individually stronger. So I set out to understand community. What makes it work and what makes it break. And that led to a quest for my own humanity, which I'm still on.
2 years ago, I met John. When I met him, I didn't just meet a life partner, but I also met someone who was carrying the second half of shared vision. He has been holding Dreaming in Unison a long time before we met, but when we came together, we were able to bring it into form. This past year, we worked very hard to build the foundation of this work. We poured our energy, our saving, our time, and our love. We didn't wait for funding. We didn't wait for permission because we trusted that this work isn't just a line. It is alive and it is needed. And so now we find ourselves at the exciting threshold. We feel how much Dreaming in Unison is alive, but we also feel how important it is to sustain it well without burning ourselves out or without compromising our values and integrity. That's why we're asking your support.
It wasn't until I met Eva that I actually knew that I was building a project. Until that time, it was just something that had been the impetus for my own personal quest and really had watched me release a lot of things that didn't serve me. So when I met Eva, she brought life back to me, and in some ways, she brought life to Dreaming in Unison is really what she carries. When I met her, it took about 4 days, and I knew that I had met my best friend. We've been exploring and learning about each other ever since, but really what we can see now is we've built a home for this dream, the dream that we were both yearning for. Your time and attention are the most valuable assets you have, and we greatly appreciate them. All the help, the good vibes, the prayers that you can send, thank you. And if you have the means to support us financially in this moment, that is also well received. And if you feel called to come build with us, please come inside this organization. There's room for you, and you're welcome.
We are asking for $20,000 for the two of us for 1 year, so we can sustain ourselves while we launch this work into the world. If you know us, if you know our work, or if you trust in us, or if any of this resonates with you, your support, no matter the size, matters. We will be so grateful to receive your help at this exciting moment in our life.